There we go.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh,
Not a lot of meat on this episode.
No, but a good conversation.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Not a lot of meat,
But a good conversation.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast. This is your weekly podcast that delivers a minute-by-minute breakdown of the 1986 Transformers movie. I am Aaron, and I'm here with two Grammy-nominated members of the band, The Triple Changers.
Hi, my name is Ryan!
And I'm Caleb.
If you guys were Triple Changers, what would your alt modes be?
Just a fucking dick. Oh, no, that wouldn't work. And you be a pussy, and then I'll be a dick, and then we can fuck each other. Or a butthole.
But you're Triple Changers.
Yeah, what's the other one? A robot, a dick, and a...
You could be a dick and a pussy.
But I can't fuck myself.
This-
Is this how you wanted it to go? What would my other alt mode be? I don't know. You go, and then I'll think of one.
I
Caleb.
was just going to say it'd be a toss-up between Mo, Larry, and Curly and breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So there's no robot mode. You're just...
You just
Eggs.
Said, you just said a triple changer. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, this went well.
Okay, last episode there was a battle royale over leadership of the Decepticons, and we don't know who's come out on top of that yet, but we also had a scene where the mortally wounded Decepticastaways have happened upon our old pal Unicron. And that's where really we kick things off. Unicron has just said Megatron's name twice and welcomed him to his presence. And
Did you want to do your impression? It's pretty good.
Welcome, Megatron. That wasn't as good.
I don't know.
bad.
I like it.
That's
I like
pretty
it.
good.
I think everything sounds cool.
Yeah, when you get up close to the mic, it sounds great.
So the force of his welcome pushed Megatron backwards, and really in a really cool animated effect, Megatron digs his claws, so to speak, into the horn, and
Which is like, hey, motherfucker, that's my tooth.
What's his horn? It's his horn.
Yeah, but he digs it into the planet, and I mean...
are horns made out of the same material as teeth?
I don't believe
No, I think they're
so.
more similar to fingernails, actually,
Yeah.
than they are teeth.
Yeah, there's no nerves in them. It's kind of like hair.
So it might not be a horn; it's more of a fang.
Yeah.
If it was a tooth.
Yeah, and
All right.
it's like, and he makes some pretty, like, that seems painful. That seems like even as big as Unicron is, that looks painful.
It might be the equivalent of like a mosquito bite to us. He's decelerated by digging his claws in. Megatron is curious, and he propels himself back towards...
Who said that?
And Unicron introduces himself. I am Unicron.
Show yourself. Oh no!
Well, this is gonna devolve into us just
Doing the...
We're doing script reading.
Just doing the lines. Yes, we're just doing the lines from the movie.
Hey everybody, if you love Transformers the movie, you'll really love us just doing all the lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
Bonus content. That's how
Everybody-
we can help get Ernie through the week.
That's right. That's right.
Is that what this whole podcast is about now? I mean,
Yes.
that's admirable. I'm cool with it. But.
This is all for Ernie. So once again, Megatron is hurled backwards, this time in sort of more space directly in front of Unicron's mouth. He's still curious. Unicron lets Megatron know that he's summoned him here for a purpose. Megatron says...
Nobody summons Megatron.
And then Unicron... Then it pleases me to be the first.
Damn, we're gonna do this whole thing. No one wants to hear this.
So okay, to Megatron's point, Did Unicron... We talked about this a little bit last episode, but did Unicron really summon them, or did they just happen upon each other? I feel like it's more like their trajectories crossed paths.
That's a pretty, serendipitous meeting, because space is real big, and, seeing anything the size of even a Transformer is nigh on impossible, so I think that he, summoned them somehow.
But he's definitely headed in their direction.
I think it's a bit overstating on Unicron's part. I think basically Unicron probably came to them. It would be like if I came to your house and said, "I've summoned you."
So he's just fronting. He's like, I summoned your ass.
Yeah.
I think he is fronting a little bit. Not to mention, but it seems like they were, as we talked last episode, that they were dumped not really that far from Cybertron.
Right.
And I think Unicron is headed to Cybertron. That's where he...
Yeah.
If he goes there, the Matrix is around that area. I don't know.
His motivation and direction is real muddled at this point. He just seems to be adrift.
Right. I love that Megatron, even when mortally wounded, just keeps that sass.
Yep.
He's like, I'm a badass to the end, to the bitter end.
So
he's tough.
So Megatron commands Unicron to state his business, which I just love how professional he is also. What a professional. State your business.
We didn't come here to have croissant and coffee. You put your deal on the table and we'll get this signed.
Look. You can have some little carrots and some veggies out of the tray over there. But let's get to this. So Unicron then hooks us up with kind of the revelation. He basically 30 minutes into the movie, the plot is finally revealed, and he says that this is his command, and says, "Hey, you need to go destroy the Autobot Matrix of Leadership for me. And by the way, just so you know, it's the only thing that can stand in my way."
Yeah, it's at 29:47, so kind of late into the minute. But I know it's exposition, but also hey, maybe keep that to yourself. That it's the only thing that can fuck you up. Because I think, spoilers, that's gonna come back to bite him. Well, not really, but
an attempted bite.
That's right.
It'll be indigestion. It gets them from the inside, right?
That's how they get you. From the inside out.
That's where they get you. So I don't even know what to say.
I know. No, it's. I want a quick interjection. I have no problem with it. It's just a point of noting, and I don't want to make you self-aware. But when you do segues, you repeat the last thing that was said.
I know, I do all the time.
Yeah. So
the last thing that was said.
Yeah. Right, so I'll start. I'm gonna start to try to
fuck with me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, good. Yeah, pretty much.
So we're okay. Pretty much. Okay, go ahead, Aaron.
No. I'll work on it, Caleb.
Aaron will work on it.
Comes out of the room.
So that's really about it. No. I'm sorry. Megatron comes in, and so Unicron says, "Go take care of this Matrix situation," and Megatron is like, "Man, it's cool. I took care of that turkey Optimus Prime my damn self."
Yeah.
It ain't cool being so jive turkey so close to Thanksgiving.
And Unicron says, "You exaggerate," and that takes us to the end of the minute. So Megatron seems to know about the Matrix existing as well.
Or he's just rolling with it improv style, and then
he's yes-anding Unicron.
That's right. He's like, I need a suggestion for a setting that two people might be in. But no, he is also Unicron's immediately like, whatever, you didn't do that shit.
He's calling him on his bluff.
Which leads me to believe that maybe Unicron, did he see the fight?
Well, he obviously saw the Matrix of Leadership being passed on to Ultra Magnus.
Sure.
So one would think that he also has the capability of seeing what happens, at least in the presence of the Matrix.
So all this time up until that was passed, did Unicron's little viewfinders on that core on the inside of him, did they just show the inside of Prime's chest for millions of years?
Well, that was my point too, of hey, you couldn't get to Earth in the 4 million years that Prime was unconscious under a volcano?
Maybe it wasn't revealed somehow. Maybe it
Well,
wasn't
the reason is because it wasn't even a thing yet. But
because
like,
movie.
but I guess the way I frame it in the world of the movie is that I guess if Prime is unconscious, the Matrix is unconscious.
I do like the concept of him talking, and this energy is basically blasting, and I think it wouldn't be as effective if it didn't exist, and I think it's really showing the true power that Unicron has versus Megatron. I mean,
It is,
he's
yeah.
exuding. They're like, how can we exude a certain type of dominance here, other than the sheer size of Unicron over Megatron? And I think that's a good solution.
That's true. It is a pretty cool thing of like even his voice is so strong that it actively pushes Megatron back, and that is a good point. I hadn't thought of that. Is like if he were just in front of Unicron, that would seem pretty boring.
Yeah, and I think it's also demonstrating that it's that the planet itself is the being talking. It helps. Instead of something within it, I don't know.
It's not like a Wizard of Oz situation.
It helps make you aware of the full presence of that object is the one doing the talking. It's not like a space ship.
Yeah.
There's just a speaker on the other side of that butthole.
It's a being.
The
It is
anus
a
of
big.
Unicron.
It is a mouth sphincter of sorts.
Yeah.
isn't it?
And that's what Megatron seems to think, is that it's a ship at the beginning, because he's like, show yourself.
So is it if it's a sphincter? Is he just farting his commands?
That's what the solar wind is. It's
like
his
a
farts.
Space farts.
Don't light a match in the direction of that.
And a burrito.
Yeah.
Burrito. Sorry. Okay, so I don't have any voice actors for this part, but I thought we could take a moment to talk about the connection between the Matrix and Unicron. So we've touched on that a little bit. So I forced you guys to watch episode 90, Call of the Primitives.
Oh, boy.
And I haven't watched any Transformers cartoons in a while. So, and I knew that most of them are shitty, but I've always liked season 3. I just like the
bananas.
weirdness
Season
of it.
3 is bonkers.
Yeah, and that episode, I don't remember that episode, and it was.
I'll say this: I was never ahead of it.
No, it was. Nope.
Every
Keep you
turn, I was
on your
like,
toes.
I didn't think you'd do that.
So the just for the listener, if it's been a while since you've watched it,
Let's explain it to you.
let's walk through it. So, and the reason why
Let's
is
do
because
every line in impressions of it.
God, no.
do your Grimlock.
No. Just go ahead and
Go ahead.
Well, so the reason we're talking about it is because I knew that there was another episode that touched on the origin of Unicron, and I thought that maybe it would also talk about the Matrix and some sort of
In a
connection
weird way.
between it. Just not even really.
Yeah.
They sort of do it visually, but anyway. So, Call of the Primitive is an episode. It's 90, and what happens is some faceless scientist is creating some kind of life named Tornatron, and he indicates that, like another being he created,
Which
was
his
mechanical.
predecessor, that you will not fail him like that one did, and you won't turn on him like that one did, which was made of matter, and Tornatron is made of energy.
And
so
energy never turns on. I don't know the logic.
I don't know why that
I
would.
created you out of energy, and so.
Well, as we see in the episode, he's not a good inventor. And also the names in this fucking
Tornatron.
Tornatron.
And
What was it?
his name is Primacron.
Primacron.
Right.
Which is just like, let's just mash together Primus and
Decepticon.
Unicron.
Right.
Sure.
So he sends that energy off into the universe. I don't know to what end. I guess to destroy all life, which is and
His motivation's real shaky.
it makes a pit stop on Cybertron, turns into a giant spider thing, sucks all the energy off, and then flies off. And that's when it's revealed that Unicron was his previous
Right, you see the
creation.
head in
Because
space.
he says you've already done more than your previous creation, Unicron, or so. And I was like, didn't Unicron do a lot? I mean, I'm assuming that Unicron ate more than just Lethone and a couple of moon bases in his life.
Yeah, that it's like that storyline doesn't match with the.
Yeah,
with
the
canon.
retconning doesn't work really.
No,
So you transition to the Autobots and Decepticons are fighting on some other planet for some reason.
yeah.
I thought it was the moon.
Oh, was it?
No, it is a moon of a planet, because I thought it was Earth in the next scene, but it's not
doesn't
Earth.
really matter.
Yeah, and but it's cool. Like you see that there's a ton of Decepticons and Autobots, but very quickly it's only 5 of each.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I guess my question is, so it's an explanation of kind of where the Matrix comes from, and this guy made Unicron. And
So
it doesn't really fit.
Some unknown voice telepathically commands all the Transformers that turn into monsters and beasts to a distant planet, and they find ultimately the primitives, if you will. They ultimately find a glowing being entity of some sort that explains the whole backstory,
Which looks like the mirror from a Star Trek episode.
Explain to me then. At first, I thought the voice that was speaking to them, calling them, was the monkey, the
inventor?
the inventor.
No,
but it's not.
like-
So
No.
what is that?
He was kind of a monkey guy because there's a flashback sequence. So he explains that he was the assistant to Primacron.
But what's the voice calling?
That's who that is.
That's the
assistant.
Primacron's assistant, and I guess maybe they had a falling out.
He's now energy.
And what happens on screen is that first of all, he tells the story that Primacron created Unicron, then Unicron turned on Primacron, tried to destroy him. So I get the sense that Unicron destroyed the assistant, and the assistant's they illustrate the assistant's spirit. He's basically says after Unicron attacked, I got the fuck out of here. And to illustrate that, they show the Matrix of Leadership floating off into space.
Which is weird.
And
I don't understand.
And they don't refer to the Matrix of Leadership. They don't even really talk about it. They just show it floating off into space.
So was the voice, the disembodied voice, is that Primacron or Primacron's assistant? And then the monkey is Primacron?
Yes.
Well, the little gimpy thing that shows up is Primacron, yes. So Primacron's trying to destroy. He's trying to create another Unicron-ish universe destruction entity,
and
his assistant wants to stop him. So that's why he's called. His logic behind it is he says that the reason I've assembled all you primitives to try and stop Primacron is because Primacron is so smart. I think maybe if I call in the stupidest of his creations, then we'll be able to stop him.
So the primitives are basically anything in an animal form. It's the Predacons, it's the Dinobots, Skylinks.
Which they tend to be dumb, except for Skylinks. Skylinks is like a pretentious fop.
Yeah,
he's British and pretentious.
He's fucking intolerable, but he's not dumb.
So...
Wow. So ultimately,
and the Anacon, the ones who form Anubis or
Abominus, the Terracons.
Terracons.
It's basically Trypticon, the Terracons, the Dinobots, Skylinks, the Predacons.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that.
And the tapes that are animals.
Oh, the tapes they just busted out of their chests.
That's to your point on the last episode, Caleb, where you're talking about is it do they eject only when Soundwave wants them to? He says
he can't control it.
He can't control it, so that leads me to believe that he always controls it. They have two of Blaster's tapes, and two of Ratbat and Ravage, I think.
So I'm. The relevance of us watch. Why'd you make us watch that?
Because to try and I forced you to watch it because it's about Unicron and the Matrix. Well, sort of about the Matrix. The Matrix visually, if not. So I watched it hoping to find answers, but didn't find any real answer about the connection. So, but you do get a little bit of history about what created Unicron, at least in this universe.
I want to dismiss everything that I watched on the episode, and The think that this little character created Unicron, I refuse to accept it.
Well,
and then Shocker, the beast of energy, turns on him just like Unicron did.
Right, and it does manage to kill all of the primitives except for Grimlock, and then Grimlock finds his way to Primacron's ship, and then through the miracle of stupid writing.
That episode is disturbing because the themes in it are that it is creating technology and control. If you try to use science and technology, if you utilize it, it'll get out of control. You should to fight that. You get stupid things to control it.
What's that Mike Judge movie?
Idiocracy?
It's like Idiocracy.
Or
our current administration.
Yeah. So actually, it actually has a lot of relevance.
But like, yeah, and like you were saying, Aaron, in the worst writing everybody go to of like, I don't know what to do, reverse polarity.
Yeah, Grimlock says, hit the reverse button.
So,
I never thought of that.
So yeah, Primacron's struggling to control his Tornatron or whatever his fucking name is. He can't figure out the sciencey way to stop him.
Yeah, and he says all these, like, it's just jargon. It's like a bad episode of Star Trek.
And Grimlock finds a reverse switch.
Yeah, he just flips it. It's right there. and yeah, he's like, I never thought of reversing the polarity.
It's all about reversing polarities in the Transformers world.
We soured its milk.
I don't even get that reference.
It's from a TNG episode.
Okay.
Like there's a parasite on the Enterprise and it's draining the energy, and they're like, just reverse polarity. I don't know if that's literally what they say, but it's basically what they say. We soured its milk. Because it's a baby. It's a baby parasite. They accidentally killed the parent.
Oh well.
It's a good bad episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will say that this episode that I forced you guys to watch is also the source of some major retconning. So we got no explanation of why the Matrix showed up. I mean, they put it on there, I guess, to establish a tie, but in the Japanese continuity, they took this episode and reworked the dialogue to insinuate that Primacron's assistant, his soul got put in the Matrix or something, and that Matrix ultimately found its own home world and created Cybertron and the Transformers ultimately, and so
Which
I
makes
guess
a lot more sense.
in a sense, he is Primus.
Yeah.
His soul becomes Primus.
I don't like the idea that Primus is some douchebag's assistant.
Well, they also insinuate that the assistant is the one who can. So the Primacron can make all this stuff, but the assistant is the one that gives them life.
So it's like Andy Warhol's studio where he's just like putting his name on all this stuff that everybody did.
It's like Jeff Koons.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, sorry.
No, who is it?
Jeff Koons is an artist known for, he creates like those giant sculptures that look like toy balloon sculptures.
Uh-huh.
There's some if you ever been to the Crystal Bridges Museum, he's got some Jeff Koons there. He makes artwork, but it's to the point where he's actually commissioning he's got the idea and he's commissioning it to be made by technicians. Mm-hmm. He really isn't doing anything himself except he has the concept, and as a consequence of that, he's making the millions.
There's an author, and he's
They're cool.
Oh wow!
Check out the Michael Jackson one.
I'll put some pictures of this up because it is pretty neat.
Yeah. No, Jeff Koons makes some really great stuff, or he has stuff made really great.
It's sort of like James.
He's still the artistic director.
Yeah.
So that's just what I'm saying. It's like that's.
It's like James Patterson, who 150 novels come out every year with his name on it, but basically he's just like he has lesser known writers who write these books, and then I don't know if he even what his contribution is to it, but his name on it basically gets your book sold, which is kind of cool but kind of weird.
I think our listeners would really like Jeff Koons stuff because it looks like giant toys, or it's like they look like balloon sculptures, but they are not. They're made out of some sort, like either aluminum or
I would like it if they were literally...
Are they full of air?
No, they're solid. They are not what they appear to be.
They do look just like balloons, though.
They're actually not made out of balloon material. They are metal. They are metal or some sort of composite. And so that's kind of the part of the shtick. That's Jeff Koons calling right now. He's going to sue us.
He's like, hey.
Get back at that guy.
So anyway, listeners, just check out Jeff Koons.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Well, I'm glad we talked about Call of the Primitives, because this would have been a 15-minute episode.
I know, but there wasn't a lot. There were some short things I had in Call of the Primitives that I thought was a little weird. I mean, Rodimus is in good form of there's one part where he goes, let's do what they don't expect. Counterattack. That's... all that you should expect.
And then even Galvatron
goes,
I don't believe it!
Yes.
Just to drive the point home that he was totally surprised.
But there was one point, and I don't know if you want to pull it up, at 3:35 in that show, where I swear to God...
I hate that episode so much.
It's frustrating. Although I will say the animation is amazing.
Yes.
And what were you saying about the animation? It was a one-off?
Well, so a lot of people believe there's this artistic outfit. I don't know exactly what they are. They're called Studio Ox, and they did a lot of Transformers artwork, and they had a very specific, I would call it even flamboyant style.
It was very stylized, especially like the points and like the guns. It's very, I don't know how I want to say pointy, but like everything's like elongated.
Yeah, I think they exaggerate the extremities of things, like Ultra Magnus's horns, like go way up into the air and to a point. And so I think most Transformers fans are familiar with Studio Ox to a degree. And so I think a lot of people believe that Studio Ox was responsible for animating that episode because it was so stylistically in their vein. But I don't know that they were actual animation studio. I think they just did illustrations for publications.
Well,
I think a designer. So a lot of people think it happens, but according to TF Wiki, it wasn't. It wasn't a Studio Ox production, but it's possible that a Studio Ox illustrator or designer was responsible for art directing the episode on behalf of another studio. So it was definitely it was probably influenced, if not actually created by them. But it was awesome.
Yeah, by and large, the animation in that episode is beyond most of the episodes, especially in season 3. Like, it's really good.
What a shame to put it on with such a shitty storyline.
I mean, the story is very weird.
It does suck that's like Unicron is such this major game-changing element in the Transformers universe, and they just like drunkenly explained it away.
They
just make him like
wedge it in.
a
huge
broken
missed opportunity,
like prototype.
Yeah. So iconic moment. We can.
I am the ghost of the iconic moment.
You know. I like the part where Unicron just shuts Megatron down and is like, "Nah, you didn't do that shit."
Yeah, at the very end of the minute, where he calls him on, "You're exaggerating."
You exaggerate.
Yeah. I have to second that.
I think let me see if I can find it here. 29-23 is where I'm going, and so there's just this really neat illustration where it's a side shot of Megatron facing Unicron, and I just think it really the scale differences right here, essentially.
And 28-23 you
so,
said,
I think that just really illustrates the scale difference. It feels like an iconic sort of image to me in terms of how they're facing off, and the light just envelops his body, and Megatron's general sassiness. I love how witty Unicron is. Like, he's this big, tough, evil thing, but he's snappy with the comebacks.
Well, let's remember who's doing the lines there. Mr. Orson Welles, man.
He didn't write those motherfuckers.
I know, but he
delivers them.
He delivers them very well.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? He may have been ad-libbing.
Yeah.
He was talking to some, like...
Please buy Parmesan.
Yeah.
I think you should get some wine and frozen peas.
Very good.
I have an animation question. Like, so his Unicron's talking, that energy, is that like painted or like, it's a different? How do they wash? Is it like a wash?
We talk about this all the time of like, how does light work in animation, and we never look it up or answer the question.
But that's a different type of light. That doesn't seem to be the whatever you call it, the cutaway.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a cutaway.
That's a cutaway, actually inside him. But that's
just an overlay.
It's like an overlay wash of some sort.
I think it's just like a light paint. Yeah, like a light layer.
Okay.
Cool. It's opaque.
Yeah.
Or is opaque
translucent.
Translucent, if you will. Yeah, let's go with that.
I see.
Guys.
Yeah.
What?
You know what time it is?
Rip deviations.
So I will say before you go into, I don't really have much.
Okay.
As opposed to there's a line that Unicron says where the line where he says, "This I command, you are to destroy the Autobot matrix of leadership." That's what he says on screen. But in this version of the script I have, he just says, "Bring me the Autobot matrix." He doesn't go into. He doesn't go into any detail.
I love how your like Ryan's is like full of like crazy like different like mythologies and strange visuals.
And then Aaron, yours is bare bones, and then they meet in the middle.
What we see on screen is the Goldilocks zone.
Yeah. Bring me the Matrix. Megatron's a gopher. I would like Starbucks, please, and a Matrix.
Yeah.
Could you get me one of the new Taco Bell naked egg tacos for
Megatron's
breakfast?
So Megatron's a PA.
Yeah. He's an intern. Okay, I've got some stuff here. All right, so in the last one we talked about Megatron is a ghostly, ephemeral version of himself. So he's a life spark, and here we are. We have an angle on Megatron's life spark as he is suddenly bathed in and gripped by a pale, cold ray, which draws Megatron's life spark. Other sparks and debris across space with dizzyingly increasing speed, hauling everything faster and faster than down, down, down. And Megatron's life spark goes, "Aye!"
I see what you've written. You've written that there are 12 eyes.
There are 12 eyes in IE. All right, now we're on a slab-like mechanical planet, which I don't know what that fucking means. The slab planet is huge and rotates on its axis through a miasma-like clouds and swirling, ominous storm clouds through which strange electronic displays play, and we follow the wailing Megatron life spark and other sparks and debris down through the mists. Here we're on the surface. And this part is super creative. It's really cool. Like, as Megatron's life spark lands and then cowers in a smoking, hell-like, mechanical, high-tech cavern, setting amid belching sulfurous fumes and the coiling and uncoiling of snake-like iron grass and the ceaseless undulation of steel tree trunk forms.
I like how it has those in quotes.
Does this have the ball-bearing waterfalls?
This
too?
is the same. No, that was Cybertron.
Oh, yeah.
This is different.
This is Slab Planet.
Yes.
Sorry.
They writhe menacingly. These tree trunk forms are covered with geometric-shaped metallic crystalline scales, which create an eerie clanging bell sound as they sway around Megatron's terrified life spark. Note, we will later learn that the tree trunks and grass shapes are hairs on the back of Ingestor's hand. But for now, we are ignorant
What's
of that.
Ingestor?
That's what Unicron.
That's an early
yeah.
Unicron.
So after all this description, Unicron goes, "Bring me the Matrix."
So, and then if you want to do, you're good at the ghostly voice. So here's
I won't do it that annoying one.
Do it.
Oh, you want to?
Be annoying.
Welcome, Megatron. Welcome to the planet Unicron.
Who greets me? Show yourself that I may know you.
Who greets me?
Yeah, that's right.
I see. I have to do all of this?
Just this part.
This has a ghostly voice. Oh, anyway, it's supposed to be roaring like thunder.
Yeah, well, but I like the ghost.
You give no orders here. Here I am alone and master, for I am Ingestor, the Absorber of Unicron. All right, wait. So, wait.
Mm-hmm.
Ingestor is a separate being in
Sounds
this
like he's
from
controlling
Unicron?
him.
It's not clear.
See, it says the Absorber of Unicron. Ingestor.
I think it's the same. I don't know. I haven't read
It's like
ahead.
the Holy Trinity.
Maybe it's
Father,
Ingestor.
Son, and the Holy
Ingestor is like, well, he says he's the absorber for like the mouth of Unicron.
I don't know, man. He's on the back of this dude's hand, so I don't know.
It's the back,
I feel like
so the
Absorber.
slab-like planet is the back of Unicron's hand.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's even much larger.
This is all fucking.
This is
crazy.
also the script where it talks about how on the rings of Unicron, one of those orbs is the size of Earth.
See. Wow, this is crazy.
Okay, Megatron's life spark cowering. Why did you bring me here? I'm of no use to you. My life spark is dissolving into the void.
I'm not doing that.
Okay, I'll do it.
Just read it.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, I'm getting
So
mad.
grumpy.
I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
Grumpatron over here.
Surly bot. Then the ghostly voice says, "Silence! You said you would do anything to regain function and be revenged." Megatron stops cowering, shows a glint of cunning. He's beginning to plot. Yes, I did, but why should that concern you, mighty Ingestor? And that is where we will pick up next episode.
Wow. This is bonkers.
It is
It's a real cliffhanger.
It's almost like we're experiencing a parallel universe
That's right.
in our
Those
universe.
are like scenes that are like heavy metal.
Yeah. It's much more psychedelic.
Fantasy, yes, totally fantasy.
Next episode,
Yep.
Megatron plays some negotiating hardball.
Yep, he's a real, I mean, I may be dying, but I still have some things I want out of this deal. Yep. It's weird.
Ultimately, I think we're going to see a good deal made, and
Will terms be accepted?
perhaps,
Okay.
or at least offered to a strong degree.
I mean, demanded, basically.
It's kind of like Transformers Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sharkticon tank.
I will fund this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen the show.
Megatron, ABC.
Always be closing.
Word.
Yeah, coffee's for closers.
Yes.
Cyber coffee.
Third prize, you're fired.
Yeah. He'll get access to the Glengarry Glen Ross.
The good leads, the Glengarry leads.
The Glengarry leads. Yeah.
Everybody go watch Glengarry Glen Ross. It's much better than our podcast.
Glengarry.
Glengarry Glen Ross. It's hard to say.
I don't like that
Larry
movie that
Glen
much.
Shh, get the fuck out of here.
I just like the Alec Baldwin parts.
That movie's great. I don't even know what to do right now.
Hit me with your clipboard.
Me-
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Please tell your friends. Tune in on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. Oh, and TuneIn.
yes.
Tune in on TuneIn.
Tune in. Tune in on Tune In.
Or do what I do and forget TuneIn even exists. Follow us on our social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all of them at ApodDcast, and visit our web presence at autopoddecepticast.com. If you're an iTunes user, please rate and subscribe.
Yes, 5 stars, please. It helps us out.
Yep. Rate and subscribe.
And we'll also shout you out if you care about that.
We will shout you out if you care about
Yo, dick.
We'll shout you up and shout you out, and there'll be dick sucking, and or you know, I mean, if you like your asshole played with, whatever. I like a good. Caleb is grimacing.
I haven't felt this way in a while.
Just like he has a knife, he's just cutting into his leg. That sounded weird.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, everybody. Bye.
Dick pussy asshole.
That place is always on fire.
Actually, a long-standing kind of town, like favorite son of the town, died in a fire a few weeks after I moved there. He had a
That's your alibi?
He had a leather store, again down the street from where I lived, and the rumor was that he fell asleep. He had a lady there. 2 people died, I think, and they were drinking or doing drugs or whatever, fell asleep and knocked a candle over and.
That is such
place
a
up.
stupid, horrible way. Like, if that's the way I die, by knocking a candle over.
I know. When people get drunk, they do dumb stuff. I mean, they got to be really careful about what they do around their houses and do destruction.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of moron would come, like, and get so drunk that they're going to destroy a part of their house?
Yeah.
Why are you guys looking at me?
I don't know.
No.
It's just, I don't know, because you're pretty.
Okay.
I mean, it's one thing to kick a candle over by accident.
A candle, sure.
Yeah, it's
a
another
tiny
thing,
candle.
It's nothing to, like, kick a cabinet in.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
I know.
Well, I mean, some kind of rage monster
It's a good thing
would
there
do
wasn't.
that.
You know, if that was to happen, it's a good thing that there wasn't a bunch of lit candles underneath the cabinet.
Because who knows? The whole place could have gone up like a tinderbox.
Yeah, totally.
I hate you guys. We're not friends. Friends would be supportive. They'd be like, Aaron, are you going through something? Can I help you out in any way?
Oh,
Like
if this had been an isolated incident, maybe.
Well, maybe
Or
the
not
fact that there's a pattern is even more reason to help a friend out.
Okay.
Like, get some medication and
medication's good. Treatment.
talk to someone.
Maybe
Not me.
Maybe not drinking. Maybe.
Well, let's not get crazy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right, let's watch the next minute.
I mean, I can do my. I'll try to help. I'm
I'm gonna fix my fucking cabinet.
I took some. I took some.
That's
pictures.
not exactly what help means.
It's more enabling.
It's like he's got a drinking problem. He wrecked his car. He asked for help, so I bought him a new car.
I just am like picturing you because you're alone in the kitchen, just staring at the gin. He's just like, fuck. What did you say, cabinet? I hate your guts.
I bet he got that weird look in his eye.
Yeah,
Too.
that twinkle, like right before you throw the southern comfort in your face.
Yes, that's it. That's the vase. I've been that cabinet. I've been that cabinet. I will say quickly for this episode, I think Unicron is enabling Megatron by creating an entirely new body for him. Is that too much?
Well, no, the way to stitch it together. I mean, we got this a real segue of gold there.
Yeah. All right, let's watch it.